All right, so welcome to the National Registry EMT program, um, our fall of 2023 that we're going to be running here from September 7th till November 19th. So this is pretty much an accelerated class, 3-month time period, about 200 hours of total time, including 36 hours of ride time on the ambulance, which you guys will get a lot more of your experience. We also have 8 in-person Sundays. Those in-person Sunday classes are being held at AVH, Androscoggin Valley Hospital in Berlin, New Hampshire, where I have some other instructors up there that will be teaching the lecture. Sorry, refuse that. That'll be teaching the practical portions of the class. And that's when you're going to do a lot of your National Registry skill sheets and everything else. I'm going to show you where to find all those as well. I do have the AOS platform, which all of our quizzes will be on there, and whatnot. So we'll get more into that here in the lecture. So let's start off with welcoming everybody here for the National Registry program, getting into our EMT. So we do run a little bit about fire tech training. We do run quite a bit of programs from EMT to advanced EMT. We do a lot of technical rescue, like vehicle extrication technician, water rescue, swift water rescue, ice rescue technician programs, pump classes. So we do an array of different programs, as you can probably see on the website, between fire and EMS. So myself, along with some other instructors that I have throughout the country that actually help out now, and Zach will introduce himself and let him when we get to that point and let you know where he's from. So some instructor introductions. Myself, my name is Kevin Romano. I'm a paramedic. I've been in EMS since '99. So yeah, I got a couple decades underneath me here. So hopefully there'll be some experience to help you guys out. I've been a medic since 2011, and I'm currently in the critical care program at the University of Florida, and I'm also enrolled in the nursing program as well through Hutchinson College. So a little bit of background with that. As you can see, Orly Romano is on here as the CFO. She handles all the financial stuff that we deal with the company. She kind of stays behind the scenes with all that. I don't believe JT is online with us. I don't see him here. So JT is kind of like the COO of the company. He kind of handles a lot of the operational stuff, also does all the IT work. And he's an advanced EMT currently, and he's also one of the deputy chiefs for Action Ambulance. And I'll let Morgan introduce himself. Morgan is on here. Yes, he is still here. So Morgan, if you want to take a chance to kind of introduce yourself, what you do.
My name is Morgan Phillips. I'm one of the managers at Berlin EMS. I've been a medic for coming on 4 years now, but I've been in EMS since 2004. And I'm looking to get my instructor.
Yeah, so Morgan is he has his provisional instructor coordinator license right now for New Hampshire. He's been through all the fire instructor courses, and he's doing his student teaching time with me. So you'll be seeing him a lot during the lectures here. And Zach, you're the last one.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Zach Evans. I am a critical care paramedic as well as a flight paramedic. Currently, I'm getting ready to start as an operations manager for a transport and 911 service in South Carolina. I've flown in South Carolina as well as Alaska, so kind of jumped in with both feet. I've only been in EMS for about 8 years, but kind of taken the accelerated route the whole way. If you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm going to kind of pop in and out of different lessons, and tonight I'm actually teaching a CPR class tonight, so I've got to jump off here in a bit, but just wanted to say hi to everybody.
So if you're looking for some knowledge of where to go after you get your EMT moving with the paramedic, Zach has a lot of flight experience as well, so they can probably lead you in other directions, just like I can and Morgan can, in both municipal 911 versus interfacility transport, critical care transport, and things like that. So these are our instructors that'll be helping out throughout the program. There are going to be other ones as well. Scott Lees, who is not on here today, he's the senior operations manager for Berlin EMS, and he'll be assisting with the practical portions as well. So, and I'm around everywhere. That's kind of what I do. All right. So now that we have our students in the class, if you guys could go, I'll just kind of pick you guys out of the crowd here. Name, department if you belong to one, and how many years of experience you have in public safety. So Tina, you're the first one on the camera here, so go ahead.
Okay, I'm Tina Burns. I just recently joined Newfield, and I don't have any years of experience in public safety. other than I'm a registered Maine guide and I'm a nurse. But right now I'm a gardener.
Excellent. All right, Cody, you're up.
I'm Cody. I'm on Bethel Fire, Medic Ambulance, Farmington Fire full time. I've been doing it for 17 years.
All right. Jennifer, you're up.
I'm actually not, I'm on Bartlett Fire, but I actually just do more admin stuff. I was in a hospital for 10 years, actually working in operations in a sales company now, but becoming an EMT has been probably a 25 plus year, something I've wanted to do for that long. And I finally decided to say, you know what, it's time.
Excellent. All right, Colin.
Hi, my name is Colin Clay. I just recently joined the Center Fire Ossipee Department. I don't have any years of public safety, but I've been a security officer and I work rescue crew at Club Motorsports.
All right, Josh.
Hey, yeah, I am part of the Bartlett Fire Department. Pretty new, maybe 4 months now. No prior experience in public safety, but I was in the Army for 6 years, kind of similar. Yeah.
All right, and Jason.
Hi, yeah, I'm mostly taking this course. I'm not affiliated with a department now, even though I was on Paris Fire Department in Maine for a few years. I did get pro board certified in firefighter 1 and 2, but I'm mostly taking this course because I work for the U.S. Geological Survey and I do all of our training in New England. So at this point, I'm teaching CPR, first aid, and a bunch of over the water type of stuff, boating. I do have a little bit of experience in EMS from the Army. I was a medic in the Army and I helped them teach the combat lifesaver course. So I do have a little bit of medical experience, which is why I teach basic CPR and first aid. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting my EMT under my belt.
Perfect. And the last one is Fred. We'll make him introduce himself and we'll pick on him when he gets online later on. So should be good with that. All right, so as far as facilities go, normally this is where I go over facilities of the practical stations that we're going to be running. That'll be up to Morgan, probably explain more about AVH than I can in the room they're going to be in. I have not been up there in a while to see anything up that way. So Morgan, if you just want to kind of cover the classroom we're going to be in really quick.
I'm not. It's down on the stairs on the first floor. That's all I know. And
Right.
parking is. I'll have to come back to you on that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. We'll definitely get out an email to all of you guys as well, kind of going over where things are going to be located at the hospital for you. All right, so we'll do company website at the end. I'm going to kind of go over where everything is on there as well. For the company website, let me go back up here for a minute. So it's firetechtraining.com is the company website. That's going to be a website that has a lot of your documents, forms, things that you're going to need for this class. And we'll kind of go over that. You'll have your course paperwork, your clinical paperwork, all your recorded lectures will be on there, and your password to get into this. It is password protected by every portal that I run. Is FTT EMT 2023. So make sure you take note of that password. I do believe I sent it out to all of you as well. So you guys should have that in your emails somewhere. All right, Zach, thank you. We'll see you next time.
See you guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Great. So I will be the lead instructor for the class. Morgan, Zach, and JT will be assistant instructors kind of helping out. And then our medical director is Dr. Scott Orr. He's our fire tech training medical director. To be in a service in the state, in order to teach, you have to have a medical director under you or over you to oversee the programs that we run. So these are our clinical sites we're going to be utilizing. There are some more that are on here, but from where everybody lives, I think these might be the best sites for you to ride. So it's Action Ambulance Service, New Hampshire Division, Berlin EMS, and Stewart's Ambulance in the Lakes region. So those are going to be your 3 clinical sites. We do have like Wilton Fire Rescue. We had Goffstown. Those are kind of a little farther away from you guys, from where you guys are located. So action will be out of the Ospey, Tamworth, and North Conway area. Berlin EMS, obviously the city of Berlin, and then Stewart's ambulance runs out of Wolfboro, Meredith, and Moltenboro. But I would have you guys ride either in Wolfboro or Meredith, as they're the busier systems. Moltenboro is kind of dead over the winter. So I'll make sure to give you guys some high call volume.
Now, do we have to do our clinicals in New Hampshire?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a requirement. It's only 36 hours, so it's 3 shifts. So 3 12-hour shifts. We can do up to 16s. At least you can with Action Ambulance to 11 p.m. I can't speak for Berlin. That's something that Scott and Morgan can talk to you about if you decide to ride up there on how late you guys can do your clinicals. And then Stewart's, they only run daytime hours too for clinical time, so 7 to 11.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep. I want to make it as easy as possible for you guys. So the required text we're going to be utilizing is going to be the AAOS SO Navigate 2 Premier Edition. So that's the text we're going to be utilizing. We're not getting textbooks. There's an ebook within your system, within your program that you have, and it is friendly on iPhones, iPads, Kindles, whatever you may use. So it is tablet and cell phone friendly. And we're also going to be utilizing the American Heart Association CPR course. If you currently have BLS CPR and it does not expire before you test, you do not have to take the class. If you do not currently have one that's valid, then you will have to do the CPR class we're going to be offering. All right, as far as the student handbook, GED high school diploma required, your incident management system, your ICS, 100, 700, and then your HAZWOP or AWR 160. Those are New Hampshire requirements, and because this is a New Hampshire class, even if you're from Maine, you still have to have these for the state of New Hampshire. And you're going to have them eventually anyways for Maine as well for fire and EMS, or at least your ICS stuff done. You can find these you can do a Google search, type in ICS 100 through FEMA, and it'll pop up. You can take the exam. If you know a lot about incident management, you can probably just challenge the exam and pass it. And the HAZWOP or AWR 160, if you pass the pre-test, you don't have to go through the class. They just give you the certificate. So it's not too bad.
Kevin,
Yes.
excuse me. Are each one of those a class? The NIMS 100, 700?
Yeah, so they're all different classes you have to take online.
Okay. And I type in each one of
Yep.
those?
Yeah, just type in our ICS 100, ICS 700, and then the HAZWOP or AWR 160, and that would be on something called TEEX. We go to the chat really quick. Here. Type it out for you guys as well.
So I hold a hazmat tech license. Do I still have to do the HAZWOPer?
Yes, because it's different than hazmat tech, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, so honestly, you should be able to pass it on the pretest.
Perfect.
Yep. So the same thing with the ICS stuff. You can challenge the exams if you understand ICS. And 100 and 700 are actually very simple, generic programs. But for those of you who already have Fire 1 and 2 and Pro Board, you should already have those anyways. I believe they're all part of the Pro Board certification. So this program meets or exceeds. Oh, go ahead.
You're saying ICS, but on the board it says NIMS. Are they the one and the same?
They're the same thing. Yeah, National Incident Management Systems or Incident Command System.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So this program meets or exceeds the National Registry core curriculum for the EMT. And this course will give the students skills and knowledge necessary to move forward as an entry-level provider in the state of practice. So just because you pass the class, it does not mean you're an EMT yet. You then have to take a National Registry certification, practical session, and written test. The written test is done at any Pearson View Center. I know there's one in Westbrook, Maine, and there's one over in Concord, New Hampshire, things like that. The National Registry practical exam has to be done in New Hampshire. Okay, you cannot cross borders with that. The best place to go that runs them on a monthly basis is called NHCPR or New Hampshire CPR. that is the site you guys want to go to sign up once you have passed the class. Right? Once you hold national registered certification, then you can apply for state licensure. Once you hold a state license, then you can practice medicine. Right? As long as you belong to a service. Right? National registry is accepted in almost all 50 states, so you can pretty much go anywhere with it. Yeah, it's not too hard to get it all once you have your national registry. So the national registry testing, I'm going to call it the Chipotle ordering style, like when you order from your phone. So it's quite interesting how they're doing it now. It's more of here's your scenario, and you pick all the answers that fit, kind of like you're making your choices versus just selecting one. And that's what's made it difficult for a lot of instructors when they automatically switch to this without any real notice behind it. So I'm going to do the best I can with the exams that I have and the quizzes to kind of give you that experience the best I can. But there are scenario-based questions that have multiple answers to it. As far as the grading goes, hold on a minute here. Oh, I just lost my screen. Stand by a minute. There we go. All right, as far as grading goes, you have to maintain an 80% or higher throughout the entire class. Now, if you have a 78, we can definitely work around that. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Mhm.
Okay. It just says that it's stopped sharing on my side for some reason. All right. So you have to maintain an 80% or better. Failure to maintain a cumulative average of 80% or higher result from removal of the program. Like I said, if you're hovering around a 79, 78, we can definitely work with some things. What I can say, if you're hovering around a 50, then obviously you're not going to be able to make it through the class. So you got to make sure you're staying up on your homework assignments, stay up on your quizzes, and your exams and everything else when we post them on certain days. And we'll go over more of that in detail here shortly. Quizzes are worth 30% of your grade. Exams are 50%. Attendance participation, 10%. That's what I'm seeing here. You guys showing up to all your classes. And then Premier Edition assignments are worth 10%. So whatever I assign you to do within the Premier Edition of the program. And there will be weekly assignments on that, along with doing stuff at your own leisure, getting stuff completed by the end of the program. And again, I will go over all that with you guys here shortly. As far as health forms go, you should have received an email in regards to the health forms I sent out. Those health forms have to be completed within 30 days prior after the start of class. Failure to do so or submit the necessary paperwork and information by that day will result in dismissal from the course. Reason being is I have to have your health forms completed to get you onto an ambulance. All right. New Hampshire does not require COVID vaccination. Okay. Maine, I believe, still does for the ambulance. New Hampshire does not. Right. So you don't have to be COVID vaccinated. You choose not to be. As far as evaluations go, students are responsible for all materials covered in the assigned text, laboratory, and class sessions. Course evaluations will be based upon assigned readings and lecture materials, as well as the detailed course objectives. Quizzes will be given on a regular basis. They will be done weekly, right? Both combination of both didactic, written, and practical skill sessions. Quizzes will be administered on Fridays and will be open until the following Friday. So quizzes run Friday to Friday. Take it at your own time. All right. Quizzes obviously are open book. They are not timed. All right. So there's no reason why people shouldn't be getting hundreds on their quizzes. Right. But you have 1 week to complete that. So I want to make note of this again. I am not going to reopen them for anybody unless you have a extreme circumstance on why you could not get it done. You have 7 days. I think that's more than fair to complete a quiz. All right. Exams will be listed on the site, and the exam will be open for the day of the assigned exam. So if it's on a Thursday, I open the exam at 8 o'clock in the morning, and the exam closes at 11:59 p.m. All right, you got to log in at some point, take your exam. There's still going to be class those days as well. right? So quizzes, you're only quizzed on everything we covered up to that point. So after today, we're gonna do chapters 1 and 2, hopefully. Quiz will open tomorrow based on chapters 1 and 2. And then next week, Tuesday and Thursday, Friday, the next quiz will open for the next lectures we did on Tuesday and Thursday. Exams are done by sectional. So everything we covered up to that exam point will be on your exam. Exam 2, anything between that period. Exam 3, anything between that period. Exam 4, same thing as we go. And class final is everything we covered from day 1 until the end. Any questions on that at all? Nothing? All right. Practical exams will be given throughout the course. These exams will be based on National Registry of EMT standards and may also assess individual skills to be comprehensive in nature. All practical exams are pass-fail. Right, you really can't get anything wrong on a practical exam. It's either you pass it all or you don't. However, does that mean you fail the class? No. It means you just retake it again and again and again till you get it right. All right. The way that works is by the end of class, you have to test out in every skill station twice with 100% accuracy. If you can pass my exams and my practical stations, you'll have no problem passing the National Registry. That's my job, is to prepare you to take those exams. CPR has been taken out of the practical exams now, so CPR is no longer part of it as I test you throughout class. Right? So there are not many skill stations anymore to be able to have to take. And believe it or not, New Hampshire does not test you guys in medical assessment. It's only trauma, which is interesting. Maine does it differently. Maine had both. And eventually the practical stations are going away completely in almost every state. The National Registry is thinking about getting rid of them and going to just being done within the program itself. So you have to participate in class. All right. So that's why your cameras are on. I can see you. You can see me. Ask questions. If I don't have an answer to a question, I will find out for you by the next class. All right. I may have you shoot me an email just so I can remember what question you did ask me though. As far as the class practical exam, there is not 7. There's actually 5 areas of competency. I just need to update that. Again, you have to pass it with 100% accuracy, and you have to pass it twice with that. All right. Clinical requirements. In order to successfully complete the course, the student must complete a minimum of 36 hours of clinical time with an improved EMS clinical site, 36 hours on the ambulance. And like I mentioned before, we cannot cross state lines. The student will meet a minimum of 10 patient assessments. If the 10 assessments are not met in 36 hours, then another day of ride time must be scheduled to meet the 10 assessment minimum. Now, I already know, and I fully understand that students can be white clouds and not get calls. I get it. All right. If that happens and you guys have done an extra 12 hours, an extra 24 hours, and you're not getting assessments in, then we will do simulations in the sim lab instead. All right. We'll do simulations to get you through the contacts. For every patient contact, you have to write a run report. Now, it does not mean you have to use New Hampshire Tempsys. It does not mean you have to use MEFRS, whatever it is now, the new name for it. I think it's a different name for it. I'm not sure. I can't remember. It's been a little while since I've used the main report. We have my own. I've created my own. It's very simple. It's writing narratives and a little bit about the patient. That's it. Which I will show you guys on how to access all that as well. The attendance policy. Attendance will be taken at the beginning and end of every class. As soon as you log in, it tells me how long you were in for. Jason, I'll get to you in a second, Jason. I saw you put your hand up. Right. So if you cannot attend class, you have to fill out a class absence form. The reason why you cannot attend. Those are found on the Fire Tech training portal. Right. If you cannot make a class, whether you're on a call and you can't make it, something happened, you're sick, you're working, you got forced in. I get it. Life happens. Every class we do is recorded, so you can go back and you can actually watch it again. Right. However, if you have 2 unexcused absences, that means you do not tell me why you could not make it. All right. You'll be dismissed from the course. That is a New Hampshire state licensure rule. You cannot miss more than 2 classes unexcused. All right. Unexcused. Again, if you're on a call if you have a family thing that came up, you have to tell me. Communication is key. Let me know what's going on. Please do not be late for class. If you're late more than twice, you'll be counseled. I will have a conversation with you on why you're showing up late. A simple text message. If you're running late because of a call, shoot me a text. Say, hey, Kevin, I'm on a call. I'll get on as soon as I get back. Cool. Okay, thanks for letting me know. Right? Make sure things are all excused. Make sure you're communicating with me so I know what's going on. All right. We do not discriminate. Fire tech training does not discriminate in its employment or education programs on the basis of age, race, color, gender, sexual orientation, national origin, disability, or religion. And we also comply with Title 6 of the Civil Rights Act 1964, Title 9 Educational Amendments 1972, Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act 1973, and the American Disabilities Act of 1990. So we do not discriminate. If for some reason you have a learning disability, do not tell me what it is. However, let me know and provide documentation that you do have one, and I can make accommodations by the state rules and by the ADA to give you more time on a quiz and exam as well. Same thing goes for your national registry testing. If you have one, provide them documentation, and they might be able to give you more time. Okay, but you have to have proof that you have. You can't just walk up and say you have a disability, like you have dyslexia. Right, I need to have documentation and proof from your physician from on a letter. As far as dress codes go, we'll discuss this on the first day of class. I was t-shirts, t-shirts, shorts, jeans, and other closed-toed shoes for all practical sessions. I don't know if I can get polo shirts made in time for all the clinical stuff, as it's back to school time, and a lot of people are making shirts and things like that for sports teams. So I will do the best I can. If you could just send me an email with your polo shirt size. That way there I can get them to you if we end up can get them. EMS pants need you need to wear some form of pants. BDUs, please do not wear scrub bottoms. Okay, those are not going to protect you in the things you're going to be getting involved in. All right, EMS pants provide a little bit better protection. And make sure you're wearing non-mesh shoes or boots. They're required in all clinical sessions. The last thing you want is someone to vomit all over your foot on a mesh shoe. You're not going to like that afterwards. It's going to be a little squishy for the rest of your shift. Right. So make sure you wear stuff like that. You don't have no steel toe unless you have them your own. Right. But get a decent, good pair of boots or shoes to wear. If you're going to be doing this as a career, black boots are the way to go anyways. Because this is a hybrid online class, we have to make sure your webcams are on. Right, so please make sure you get your webcams on so I can see you at all times. It does say here that you have to have something in the chat box every 10 minutes. We have a small enough class that I can kind of go with you guys and get things moving as we go. So I'm not really overly concerned about that as I am as much as getting class participation. And I may pick on you if I'm not hearing you talk or bring up things when I'm asking questions. I know who's going on. I know what's going on. I can see the class. It's a small enough classroom. So I can kind of pick on you to get you to kind of step up. If you are shy and do not like talking to people, you're not going to be shy by the end of class. Because it's part of interviewing. This is what we do. And I like to call it interrogation, but really it's assessing your patient. Really, we're interrogating them to get what we need for information out of them to treat a patient. We're utilizing differential diagnosis. Here we go again. Apparently, I can't click the chat box without it doing that. Pretty sure you just lost my screen again, so hold on. All right. So as far as the student handbook goes, I did send out an email with a link that said student handbook on it. You need to make sure, I believe you guys, please make sure you fill that out through the digital form and get that submitted. All right, and as far as the course outline goes, we're going to review the course outline here in shortly. I'll bring that up on my computer. Waivers of liability, those are also sent to you as well through a link. So please make sure you get those filled out for me. As far as rosters go, because we are utilizing Microsoft Teams, it creates a roster for me. So there's no roster for you to sign. However, there will be a roster for you to sign on your practical days. Medical evaluations, you guys need to get started on those as soon as possible. Get them signed by your physician with your records for your shots. As far as clinical rotations go, I am your clinical coordinator as well. So if you have any clinical questions, you have to come to me for those. If you sign up for a clinical shift and you do not show up, that is not good. Please don't let that happen. All right, make sure you show up for your clinical rotations. A lot of these programs like Action Ambulance, where we have five other programs to include paramedic programs that come through Action Ambulance, and they make time to get EMT students in. All right, so I want to make sure that if you sign up for a shift, please make sure you do show up. Now, obviously, if you're sick, you're sick. You need to let me know. All right. As far as signing up for hours, I will give you the contact information. Morgan will be your contact for Berlin EMS since he's a supervisor up there. Matt Sterling is the new education coordinator for Action Ambulance. And I will give you his contact information so you can schedule in your ride time. Right. And then as far as Stewart's ambulance goes, it'll be Nick Varon. Just let me know if you guys want to ride at Stewart's or not. I'll give you his contact info. You have to stay with your assigned FTO, and there are clinical evaluation forms that have to be filled out at the end of every clinical shift. If you do not get those filled out, and you come back to me, that shift no longer exists. All right. Any questions on that? Again, I'll show you where to find all your forms. And you also have to wear the appropriate clinical attire. So uniforms. Facebook will be the evil, the death of all. If you start posting pictures of patients, patient information, or pictures of car accidents and things like that during your class when you're on clinical rotations. Right? The fire departments you're going to be riding with or EMS services have social media policies, and we have to abide by them. Now, if you want to put down, do my first clinical ride shift, that's fine with me. Right? But no pictures, right? Please not have pictures of you screwing around in the back of the ambulance, doing crazy things or whatever. I've already seen it. It's happened in some of my classes before. Those students were dismissed, right? Because complaints were filed. You are there under fire tech training. You are there under your own department that is paying for you or sponsoring you. So please make sure that you are doing your job appropriately. As far as cell phones go during class, in-person sessions, please put them on vibrate, okay, so you don't disturb the rest of the class. If you're if obviously online, you're muted anyways, so you guys can do what you guys need to do. So please make sure you're focusing on the class as well. If we end up having an in-person classroom session, you're allowed to bring a laptop to take notes. All right. So let's go to the website really quick. All right. So if you go to if you guys have laptops or anything else you want to use or a side screen on there, go to firetechtraining.com and you'll see this web page here. My site is also mobile friendly, so you can do it on a phone as well. When you're typing out your narratives, phones work great if you have dictation. Types it out for you, which makes it so much better. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to portals and you can click on the Fire Tech Training NREMT program fall 2023. Right? That'll bring you to a password. The password is all capital letters FTTEMT 2023. Once you are in, you'll have a lot of information here. So with that being said, your student manual and your course syllabus. For some reason, I'm not sure why those didn't upload. I'm gonna have to find out from our tech guy to see if we can get those to work. But the other ones all work. I'm not sure why those two didn't go with it. See the New Hampshire skill sheets. You're gonna click on this. This will open up a separate page for you. As you can see on my screen here, hopefully it's still, is it still sharing?
Yep.
I don't see the red line around it. You have your NREMT practical skill examinations. A recommendation is you start reading these now. If you don't know what they are, it's okay. Start reading them, memorizing the orders. This is how the National Registry does things. Cody, I see your hands up.
If we get a call in the middle of a class, how do we go about that?
As far as like right now, if a call came in for you,
Yes.
just shoot me a text saying, hey, gotta go on a call.
Okay.
And that's it.
That's what I needed to know. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. All right. So patient assessment, trauma management. This will be your first skill sign off sheet. CPR, don't worry about that one there. We don't test on it. Airway suction and oxygen. Femur fracture. And you'll be using one of these devices. It will be a Hare Sager KTD. Most of them are using the Sager at the New Hampshire CPR, the Sager split. Long bone fracture, and they'll pick one, ulnar radius, tibia, or fibula. Shoulder dislocation, sling and swath. That's all that is. So those are all the stations they test you on. There's no more bleeding control or anything else. Those are the only stations that New Hampshire tests you on. Your clinical paperwork is actually health forms. If you can't find your health form is located here. I need to get all these records from you guys. Again, if you don't know all your shots and your dates, all we need here is titers. Okay, just show me you have a titer. Cody, your hands up again, I think. You're still muted.
I just don't think it went away.
It won't go away?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, you guys just feel free to unmute and start talking. We were small enough class, we don't have to put our hands up anyways.
Kevin, is the
Yes.
HEP series mandatory? The Hep B?
Yes. Yeah. Have you ever had it before?
I had a bad reaction, so I never had to
Okay.
have it as a nurse, but I will attempt it again because
No, if you had a bad reaction, just document something on that with your physician and have them sign off on you. All right. And I can print out a declination form.
okay, the physician that I had it with is no longer practicing. I have a
Okay.
new doctor who yeah. I'll talk to
right.
her about it because maybe
So-
we'll want to try it again. It was
All right,
20 years ago.
So after class,
Yep.
we'll just talk on the phone another during the daytime tomorrow or
Yeah.
whatever. And maybe if I'll check with the state and see if you can sign a declination because you had a reaction to it.
Okay.
I'll find out for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So that is your health form there. Get it filled out and signed off. Get that back to me as soon as possible. Here's your clinical paperwork, your clinical evaluation form, page 1. So you have to print this one here off, and you're going to have your preceptor fill this out for you, whoever you were assigned to as an FTO. That's page 1. And this is page 2. I have not made these digital as of yet. It's faster and easier if you guys get these done on paper. All right.